Good morning, my name is Lori Cummings and I'm the owner of Stone Cottage Farm and Garden, and today we're going to be drying kale. And there are lots of things you can do with kale, but this is one of my favorites. You can get the whole family involved in this. Children love to do it and love to eat it. When it's done, it just melts in your mouth and you'll never believe that you're eating a vegetable. And not only that, it's a super vegetable. It's one of the superfoods and very important for us to have. It's high in vitamins, vitamin K, vitamin A, and vitamin C, and it's a very good cancer preventive. And not only that, it's in a complete protein, so it has all the essential amino acids that are necessary for our bodies. So the first thing we're going to do is I have washed some kale and dried it thoroughly, and I'm going to just cut up some parts of it. I'm going to cut off the stem and give that to the chickens, if you have chickens. And you can do a couple different things. If you have a small kale that has a small vein in the middle, you can actually dry it like that. This has a little thicker vein in the middle, so what I'm going to do is just take my knife and slice down right next to that vein. Remove the stem from the leaf, turn it around, and scissors works well too. And you don't want to chop it too fine because you'll end up losing those leaves when you dry them. They'll get lost in the oven or lost in whatever you're using. If you want, you can dry those off a little bit more so it doesn't take quite so long to dry. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just put them in a bowl and sprinkle them with olive oil. And just toss it so it's thoroughly coated with olive oil. And you can just sprinkle salt on them and dry them. You can put tahini, which last night I made some homemade tahini, which is sesame seed and olive oil. I toasted the sesame seed and then I let it dry thoroughly, and then I put it in the food processor with olive oil and made a nice creamy tahini. So on a little flatter leaf, I might use the tahini. And then what I like to use is nutritional yeast flakes. Nutritional yeast is yeast that's grown on sugarcane or molasses, and when it's ready, it is deactivated, and it's very high in B vitamins. It's very tasty. It's kind of a nutty, cheesy flavor, and it's very, very good for you. So a lot of times kids like to sprinkle this on their popcorn. You can put it on soups. It's super good on the kale. So we've got the kale ready. I'm going to move over to one of the favorite ways that I like to dry it. And this is a Flavor Wave oven. You might have seen these on TV and you can cook things in them and whatever. And one day I decided that I put my kale in here and it worked out very, very well. If you don't have one of these, you of course can use a food dryer like we have here, or you can even dry them in your oven. And in the oven it's about 250 degrees and it might take 10 minutes or so. Usually on my Flavor Wave oven, I will set it for 400 degrees and it goes for about 6 minutes. So I'm just going to remove the lid. Spread the kale out over top. And don't crowd them too much. If you have to do a couple batches, that's fine. Nice and coated. And next I'm going to take the nutritional yeast. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. And if you put tahini or almond butter or something like that on, just put it very, very thinly, or else it will not dry. Just like that. And then just a sprinkle of, I've got some pink salt. Just going to use my fingers on this one. Just a little bit of that. And they're going to start to blow around a little bit probably. I'm going to set it for about 6 minutes. The nice thing about this is the fan comes on and the heat comes on, so they're really, really getting dried nicely, and the color will stay a very bright green. And we'll come back in a few minutes and show you what the dried kale looks like. 1 minute to go and it's almost dry. And we're going to check the kale chips now and see if they've dried enough. Just remove the lid carefully. They smell good. Hear the crunch? They're very, very dry and they're very tasty. You can hear how dry they are. So thank you for watching this video on kale chips, and I hope you enjoy.